Hi, my name is Catherine Trance, and I'm an elementary education major at Indiana University, and this is my e-portfolio. So about me, I am currently an elementary education major with a focus in English at Indiana University, and my goal is to teach third or fourth grade, but I think that any grade school level would be an awesome fit for me, but specifically third and fourth grade, I think that would be awesome. So, my beliefs about education, I believe that everyone should be a forever learner. You can never know or experience too much. And what I mean by that is, I think that whether you're graduated from high school or graduated from college, you should always constantly be still asking questions. You should be trying to find out new and exciting ways to do things. And you should always be ready to learn because that's what um, changes people and that's what gets our world to be a better place. So, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to implement how important that is to my students, and I'm going to try to implement really exciting activities and encourage students to become lifelong learners from hands on activities that connect to their everyday lives. My beliefs about technology in the classroom, at first I honestly was a little bit scared of technology. I was always very hesitant to use it because I didn't really know how I could make it um, to be effective in my classroom. But from taking W200, I now understand that technology in the classroom is extremely important because our world is constantly evolving and technology is constantly improving and becoming faster and faster. And our students are going to be thrown into a world where they need to know how to do things that we don't even know exist yet. So we need to prepare them with that the best we can and give them the resources and skills they need in order to really succeed in the technological world that we live in. So moving on to my gallery, I'm going to show a couple of my artifacts. Here is my S'more newsletter, and I really enjoyed making this. I think that it's a great tool for teachers to send out important information to both their students and the students' parents. I think it's a really fun, interactive way of showing what's going on in the classroom. So here I specifically introduced myself at the beginning of a year, and I talked about what we're going to be talking about in class and what our community is going to look like, and a little bit about what our classroom is going to look like too. And these are fun, interactive things that you can click on and learn a little bit more about it. And I just think that the idea of having a website newsletter is really efficient and can be really utilized well by teachers and parents and students to keep everyone in the loop of what's going on. Here's my problem-based learning lesson plan, and I titled it Rock the Boat because I had my students construct their own boats out of like unconventional materials, and these boats had to meet the criteria that they could float in water and then that they could hold 5 small rocks. And the standard I used for this project was identify a simple problem with the design of an object that reflects a need or a want. Include criteria for success and constraints on materials, time, or cost. So I talked about how they only had 30 minutes to get this done, and if we were actually building a real boat, how these materials could be really hard to find or they didn't have a lot of money in their budget. So we talked about that as a class. And I think that this is a great way just to identify a simple problem. So the problem we used was hypothetically we had to ship things out and the boats were all broken, so we had to make new ones. And I think that this is a great way to introduce problem solving in the classroom and to show that anyone can be an engineer, no matter their age, if they're a boy or a girl or anything, that it's a really encouraging and just fun activity to get students excited about problem solving, and problem-based learning is a great way to get students involved in the real world. Next is my computational thinking lesson plan, and for this was what we used for our micro teaching, and we did this at a local elementary school, and we really enjoyed teaching this, and I think the students really enjoyed it too. So my group and I talked about what a problem solver is with them and where they see patterns in their everyday lives or in food specifically, because we made it pizza themed. So we talked about if you could make your own pizza, what would you put on it? So we had a little menu, and kids got really excited about this because it's something that they don't usually talk about in school. So from this, we led into the project, and first we did a pizza delivery game where students actually coded their own B-bots, and B-bots are just like little robots that follow left, right, forward, and backward coding. And they had to deliver pizza around the obstacle course, so students got really excited about this. It was kind of a game, but they didn't even know that they were coding at the time. Then we talked about coding a little bit further, and the students were pretty familiar with the idea of coding. They do Hour of Code in their class, which I think is great. And so we coded our own pizza. This was our unplugged activity. And from this unplugged activity, they had to construct patterns and a code that other students would have to follow, and put pepperoni in one order and onions in another, and they had a lot of fun with it. And at the end, we reflected and talked about decomposition, we talked about patterns, and we talked about algorithms and how they see it in their everyday lives, how they see it in pizza specifically, and what they liked about the activity, what they didn't like about the activity, what was challenging, what was easy, and it was just a great way to close things up. So those are my artifacts that I'm sharing today, and overall I really enjoyed W200 as a class, and I think that it was a great way to introduce me to technology and make me not so scared of what technology really is.